The HOA built 42 resort cabins on my land right on the spot where I scattered my wife's ashes. The president just grinned, waved some bogus papers in my face, and told me I was the one trespassing. You ever have a moment so outrageous you think you might just be on some hidden camera show? Yeah, that happened. But here's the kicker. They had no idea what I was up to. I didn't stop them. I let them finish every single thing. I watched them landscape, watched them rent those cabins out for a small fortune, watched them think they'd won. They had no clue. Every dollar they spent was just driving the knife in deeper, except this time the blade was pointed at them, not me. Where are you tuning in from? Drop it in the comments, because this story, I promise you, is one of the all-time great HOA takedowns. And if you're sick of these power-drunk HOA types, you might want to hit that subscribe button, because justice, it's coming and you won't want to miss it. So it all started with a little splash of orange, my morning coffee in hand, same porch, same sunrise I'd looked at for 20 years when I spot a mess of plastic flags dotting my ridge. Pink spray paint cutting a straight line across my grass right where the old pines meet the slope. 30 acres free and clear bought by my granddad with hard-earned logging money in the 30s. So when I see survey stakes in my ground, I want to know who put them there. I head out wet grass, soaking my jeans, and see two guys in hard hats, bright vests, unloading gear inside my fence line. I ask what's going on. The older one just shrugs. HOA's resort expansion, he says, like he's giving me the time of day, not telling me they're starting a construction project on land I own. The audacity, and then out comes the golf cart. Clipboard helmet hair smile, sharp enough to cut glass. Karen Mallory, president of the Bluffs HOA. She talks to me like I'm trespassing on my own property. You must be Mr. Brenner. This strip is part of our new development. All been surveyed and filed. I show her my deed old dog-eared signed in ink with the original seal, but she just waves it off. Ancient history, she says, things get updated, and then she turns her back on me. But that ridge, she calls it a strip, that's where I scattered Eleanor's ashes. Her favorite spot in the world. She wanted it to be a retreat for veterans, a place for healing. Now these folks were going to pour concrete right over it. The fight started slow, and let's be honest, it was all on her side. A week later, I get a code enforcement notice complaint about my tool shed being out of compliance. Then HOA signs show up right next to my fence, future home of the Bluffs Lakeside Cabins. You know what I mean? It was petty, psychological warfare. I go down to the county land office, wait forever, lay out my deed, my tax records. The clerk shrugs, says the HOA filed a new plat map. Their survey shows their line going another 100 yards onto my property. Happens all the time, he says. Civil matter. Get lawyers. Like hiring a lawyer is as easy as buying milk. Then come the bulldozers. I hear that diesel rumble in my bones, two big machines at the edge of my trees about to drive right over Eleanor's resting place. I call the sheriff. The deputy's just a kid. Shows up, listens, checks Karen's shiny map, and tells me, "Sir, according to the plat map, your property line ends at that old fence. Technically, you're on their land right now." And the bulldozers roll in. I just stand there helpless as they scrape away the soil, churn up wildflowers, erase Eleanor's ridge. I don't watch the worst of it. I sit at our kitchen table, the one she and I built together, and just listen to the destruction. Next, a lawyer in a cheap suit serves me a cease and desist. For what? Creating a hostile environment by having a fence my granddad built. And then the real kicker, they put up cameras pointed right at my house, my workshop. Every time I stepped outside, I got the little red blink. They were treating me like the trespasser. Neighbors were scared to get involved. "Karen will make your life hell," they said. "Let it go." Even my own niece called crying, begging me to move, give up the fight. I was alone. And in the papers, they ran a big story. Bluffs Phase 2, a boon for tourism, with Karen front and center, smiling that venomous smile, calling the project a dream come true. My land. My wife's memory. Her dream. The cabins went up fast. Every night I'd walk the perimeter, see the construction lights pollute the sky, hear laughter and music from the first renters. And the listing, they had the nerve to call my lake private, charging $400 a night to trespass on what my family built. Court day comes, I'm alone, old deed in hand. Karen and her board show up in matching blazers, their hotshot lawyer spinning me as a stubborn old man clinging to the past. Judge looks tired. She's clearly expecting to side with the HOA. I play along, hang my head, let them all see a defeated man. But I'm not defeated. I'm just getting started. Because here's what most folks don't know. Sometimes you got to let your enemy build their own gallows. And these folks, well, they were real efficient carpenters. Back at the county records, I meet Corey Denton, a young intern grandson of an old Army buddy. We dig deep into the archives, past the shiny plat maps, back to the 1932 master plat, where my family's 30 acres is clearly marked boundary set by stone markers and shoreline. And get this, the HOA's updated survey, done by Karen's own brother-in-law. Not a mistake, a setup. Then we find the clincher, a 1959 quitclaim deed signed by a judge, reaffirming my family's ownership all the way to the water's edge. That document still, I know what judges are like. They see buildings, investments, they might just order the HOA to pay me for the land. But that's not justice. So I do the hardest thing, nothing, at least in public. I let the construction continue, let them keep digging their own hole. Meanwhile, I hire Anita Flores, a tough-as-nails boundary surveyor, Navy vet, court-tested. Her report is a masterpiece, math, history, satellite data, the works. I send the HOA a registered letter, demand they cease all construction, cite every legal precedent. They sign for it and toss it. Their arrogance is off the charts. But that little green receipt, that's the most expensive mistake Karen ever made. One night I walked the empty cabins, measuring the vaulted ceilings, writing it all down. Every luxury feature, every code violation evidence. They serve me with restraining orders. Fines try to ban me from my own land. HOA compliance officer starts cruising by, snapping photos, writing me up for garden hoses on my driveway. Noise complaints, anonymous letters, the whole bit. It's exhausting, but I give them nothing back, just silence. Then comes the twist. The HOA films themselves smashing my grandfather's cornerstone, the original survey marker from 1934, then buries it under fresh asphalt for their entryway, posts the video online like they've done nothing wrong. That's malice. That's the final nail. I gather my evidence, the deeds, drone photos, Anita's survey. Full court day comes, Karen and her board in their Sunday best, me in my old tweed jacket. But I've got a surprise David Davies, the land dispute lawyer. He calmly presents the original plat drone footage of construction crossing my boundary, Anita's ironclad report screenshots from their own website, and the kicker proof they were notified before building began, plus the video of them destroying the boundary marker. Then Corey testifies, registered letter, date stamped. Judge asks me, Mr. Brenner, why did you let them build? I tell her straight, I let them build. I let them rent. I let them profit. I also let them hang themselves. The room goes silent. The judge slams down her gavel, orders an immediate halt to all activity, says a full hearing is coming, but makes it clear she's seen enough. News breaks that night, local veteran fights HOA land theft. Karen's a pariah. At the emergency HOA meeting, the place is packed. Investors and homeowners scream at Karen. She tries to gaslight, but it's over. A no-confidence vote kicks her out on the spot. Deputies serve her with legal summons, civil trespass, commercial fraud, filing false documents. The whole rotten operation falls apart. The HOA declares bankruptcy, investors sue, homeowners revolt. Bank tries to settle offers to clear the cabins, pay damages, even offers to buy the land and cabins for $2.4 million. My lawyer tells me it's a golden ticket, but the money's not the point. I tell him no. I want to build that retreat Eleanor dreamed of. And here's the ending you didn't see coming, those 42 luxury cabins. By law, they're mine now. Permanent fixtures on my land. I hire local vets, start renovating, knocking down walls, building ramps, turning arrogance into healing. Last week I hung a sign at the lake's edge, Eleanor's favorite color, like Eleanor private property. Veterans welcome. I stood there a long time watching the sun dance on the water, thinking about everything we lost and everything we built back. Sometimes justice isn't about the money, it's about honoring what matters most. So what do you think? Was I right to let them build, or would you have fought back? Another way? Tell me below. Share your own stories. Weigh in on justice, right and wrong, or just where you're tuning in from. And if you believe no family should have to fight for what's theirs, hit subscribe. This isn't just my fight, it's all of ours.